Hey y'all, what day is this? Thursday? I know. This is not my live day. This is just a pop-up. Real quick, I just want to share a thought. I'm sitting here, I'm working, and I had a thought. I'm sitting here and I'm working and I had a thought, and I want to just share my thought with you. Really, like, tag, and share. Do it quick. I'm not gonna be before you long. Um, I am just I know it ain't Friday. I know it's not Tuesday. This is not a Moments with the Masters. This is just a random pop up. Okay, this is just a quick conversation. This is just a drop in thought. I don't know how you want to categorize it. God bless you, my sister Lydia. Thank you for helping me. I appreciate you. Listen, I'm sitting here and I've been having conversations with my coworkers. I've been having conversations with friends. I've been having conversations with sisters. I've been having conversations with just people, just all around people. And what I love about conversations is that conversations will expose immaturity. Conversations will expose places that you need to grow. Conversations will expose mirrors. Sometimes I use my conversations as a mirror to reflect me, to work on me. Conversations are bigger than just talking or wasted time or just an event or a segment of life where it's not mandatory or it's not required. Like, conversations are clear indicators that something needs to come off. And sometimes in conversations we vent, and sometimes in conversations we say things, and sometimes in conversations we lay it out. And I was having a thought about territorial, about people being territorial, and I had to have this mirror moment where I had to check myself. And so I want to share with y'all this thing because sometimes we are placed in roles or positions or areas or seats that are not assigned to us, but we're selected to steward. I'm telling you, I'm going somewhere. Please like, tag, and share this. Sometimes we are in seasons where we are, I like to say, seat fillers, or we are just we fill in, but it's not really for us. Sometimes we find ourselves in a scenario where there is nobody to do it, and so I'm selected to be the one, right? So, for example, my role as a manager, prior to me being a manager, my director was the manager, but when she vacated the role, she became the director. Well, because she didn't have a manager, she had to fill the seat of the manager and the director until the seat was filled according to the assignment. But what I'm starting to realize and understand is sometimes we intertwine our worth is attached or in alignment with our assignment. Woo! Sometimes our worth is intertwined and attached to our assignment. I'm trying to help somebody today. Let me say it again. Sometimes your worth and your value is connected to the assignment that you're doing. And so when you are not in that assignment, you vacate or you're no longer there, you feel like now you're unworthy overall when it comes to you because you've intertwined your worth and your value with a certain seed. I'm sitting here and I'm like, wait a minute. So if I now take this position of manager, and she vacates the position of manager and she becomes the director, and I now fill the seat of manager. Could it be that if you can't let go of what was to become what is, that you have intertwined your value with the seat that was reserved for somebody else? And I am having a moment like, God, am I frustrated because some of us are in seats that we're saving? Or am I frustrated because I'm like, am I only valued in this place? Am I only valued according to this title? Am I only finding value with the work, or am I only finding value with the job? Like, who am I outside of that seat? Who told me that if I'm not assigned this seat or this title or this position, or who told me that my value was predicated on the seat that I've selected, or the seat that I filled, or the seat that I sat in, or the seat? And I was thinking, like, what if God, what if Jesus, on his journey to the cross, what if Jesus on his journey to the cross said to himself, you know what? I am going to, I know my assignment is to go to the cross. I know my assignment is to die on the cross. I know my assignment is to die. But what if he was to say, you know what? I don't want to do that because I don't find value in that. I find value more on my way to doing what I did versus what I was assigned to do. Like, what if he was like, I'm just going to, what if the woman with the issue of blood, she touched me, but I'm gonna keep going because that's not my assignment. She touched me, but I'm gonna keep going because I'm not here to do that. She touched me, but my value is not in her being healed. My value is to die on the cross. Like, what if he would have stopped and found his value in something other than what he was called to do? What if he only had value according to dying? What if he only why do you feel like once you vacate a position or a title that your value is vacated? Who told you that your value is intertwined with that thing? Oh my God. You are called, Margaret, thank you for joining. God bless you. You are called to steward a thing. We are all servants in some capacity. Some of us serve at church. Some of us serve in our different jobs. We serve as supervisors or managers or directors or reps, or we serve as medical assistants or doctors or surgeons or anesthesiologists. We are all servants. So why, when we are selected to do something else, we feel less value? We feel devalued because we have allowed our value to be intertwined with something that we should be stewarding in. We don't own these titles and these positions and these opportunities. God has given us the opportunity to sit in these places and to serve these certain people and to do these different jobs and to have these different areas of assignments. But sometimes we get so caught up in ownership because we have been in some assignments for way too long. We have taken what was God's and we have now tried to be the God in the very thing that we were called to be a steward over. Could it be that we've mistakenly assigned a voluntary place to a permanent destination? Woo! I'm just sharing all my thoughts. I'm telling you, this is just uncensored. This is unscheduled. This is just a conversation. I'm just sitting here having this conversation. And I said, you know what? I want to have a live conversation because how many people are like, If I leave this job that I've been in for 25 years, I have no value. If I don't buy this house, then I have no value. If I never get the car that I desire, I have no value. And where in your life, Anthony, did you intertwine value for a title, or did you intertwine value for a position, or did you intertwine to say to yourself, I'm only valuable if I'm functioning, or I'm only valuable if I'm operating in this thing? I pray you know how valuable you are just by the person that you are, just by breathing, just by existing, just by becoming, just by talking, just by walking in the room, just by being born, just by being. You have enough value, and you add in addition to the titles, and you add in addition to the seats, and you add in addition to the friendships and the relationships. But you have to know that you're valuable with or without a thing. That's why when people say, who are you? They don't want to know who you are according to what you do, but who you are without the doing. Who are you? Who are you? What describes you? How do you describe yourself? How do you figure out what determines what makes you up? God never called you to own his work. He called you to steward what belongs to him. The Bible says in Psalms 24:1, listen, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. So Paul is saying, like in 1 Corinthians 4:1-2, he's saying that it is required in stewards that one be found faithful. Notice Paul doesn't say gifted. Notice he doesn't say talented. He's saying you have to be faithful. So what are you holding on so tightly to that if God asks you to release it, you would struggle? If God said, you know what, Jaleesa, I thank you for being a nurse, but in this next season, I don't want you to be a nurse. I don't want you to be a janitor. Most people will immediately think about possessions, but then shift the conversation. What about your ministry? What about your title? What about your position? What about your influence? What about your seat? Stewardship, can I help you today? Stewardship is managing something that belongs to someone else according to their will. Stewardship is managing something that belongs to someone else according to their will. So watch this. A steward understands I'm responsible for it, but I don't own it. I love being in leadership. I love being the manager. I have 30 people under me in one team. I have 30 people under me over one company. I have another 30 people under me over another company. That's 90 people that I'm stewarding over. Because, why do you say that? Because I don't own them, but I'm responsible for them. So listen, believing something ultimately belongs to you. This is what we say when we believe we own something. We say, this is my ministry. This is my choir. This is my department. This is my team. This is my people. These are I own them. They do what I say. This is mine. This is mine. But stewarding says, you know what? God entrusted me to steward these people. God entrusted me to manage these people. God entrusted me, watch this, to mentor these people. God entrusted me to lead these people. Ownership protects and stewardship prepares. In other words, owners protect territory. Because some people, Margaret, they get territorial. Michael, they get territorial over something that doesn't belong to them. You gatekeep over something that doesn't belong to you. But a steward will prepare the territory. For example, a homeowner will say, how do I keep this? But a property manager will say, how do I care for this until the owner returns? I'm going to look over this thing for you. I'm going to make sure the grass is cut. I'm going to make sure the house is clean. I'm going to make sure the tenant is paying the bills, right? That means everything. If Jesus is coming back, then that means every ministry is under temporary management. We are all being temporary managed until he returns. Listen, stewards build people. Oh my, this is just something I was sitting thinking, like stewards They build people. You don't believe me? I'm telling in Ephesians 4:11-12, the Bible says leaders are given to equip the saints. The goal isn't doing ministry forever. The goal is producing ministers. That's why I love my church, because I am under leadership that vows to produce. I am under leadership that vows to equip. I am under leadership that can pour and produce, that can pour and teach, that can pour, Taisha, and structure. You have to get in a season where you are around people that steward to build. Like, ask yourself, who have you trained to do what you do? Have you trained somebody to do what you do? I've been out of the office for a week. Can I be out of the office and my supervisors have the capacity and the autonomy? Listen to my words. Do they have the capacity and the autonomy to carry on the task while I'm away from the office? I'm wondering, who have you trained to do what you do? If the answer is nobody, then you preserved a position instead of multiplying leadership. And that's what we got to get out of. We have to get out of this mindset that it's me, only me, and can't nobody else be me. My question is, if you were able to be produced, then you should be able to produce. You cannot be the only person that can do what you do. Who are you producing? Who are you building? Who are you teaching? Who are you equipping? Who are you pushing? Oh my gosh. Help me, Holy Ghost. Come on. Let's look at this word, because Moses, watch this. We got to get in our word. We have to get beyond Sunday Bible. Just heard that. We got to get beyond Sunday Bible, meaning we just open up our Bibles on Sunday. No, we got to open up our Bibles 7 days a week, because we got to get in this word. The Bible shows that Moses produced Joshua, Elijah produced Elisha, and Paul did Timothy, and John the Baptist was with Jesus. And so none of them tried to stop God's next move. They prepared for it. A steward celebrates what an owner fears. Owners, watch this. Oh my God. Let me calm down. Michael, let me calm down. Taisha, let me calm. Julia, let me calm. Jaleesa, let me calm down. Lydia, help me to calm down. Pastor, let me calm down. Hold on, let me catch my breath, because owners fear replacement, but stewards celebrate reproduction. I'm excited that I get a chance to reproduce something. I'm excited that I can pour into somebody and watch them grow up to become something. I don't need to duplicate me, but I need to pour into somebody that has the capacity or the capability to do what I can do. Not necessarily like me, not a carbon copy of me, but they have the capacity and the authority to steward in that vein, right? I'm not an owner. I don't fear the replacement of me. I don't fear the next manager. I don't fear the next supervisor. As a pastor, I don't fear the next pastor, because there has to be some type of stewardship in me that's able to pour, to reproduce something. I'm trying to help you on today. Listen, identity cannot be connected to the assignment. Listen to me. I want you to put this in the chat, Jaleesa. Identity cannot be connected to the assignment, because if your identity is, watch this, and I'm going to say this because I've been there. I remember being in a season where I was like, you know what? I am the worship leader. I'm the worship leader. I'm the praise and worship leader. And ain't nobody gonna be what I am. Well, I remember, I'm telling you what I know. I was at multiple churches. My husband and I, we were selected, and we were called in to start these praise and worship teams. And in starting the praise and worship team, I would take the position as the praise and worship leader. I would set up the team. He would set up the musicians. And when I came in there, Jaleesa, that was my title. I am the praise and worship leader. I am the worship leader. And then every time a new singer came in, come on here, let me be transparent. I was like, all right, you can sing, but I'm the praise and worship leader. I mean, you can carry a note, but I'm the praise and worship leader because sometimes in those veins, sometimes in that vein, if I can be real transparent, I would get intimidated or threatened possibly by another voice that doesn't sound like me. But if your identity, watch this, as I grew in that role, as I grew in that place, I understood that my identity should have been I am God's daughter who currently leads worship. Then I had the opportunity, and I did this very thing. I began to mentor other people to become worship leaders because I knew that my oil was shifting and my assignment was about to change and my identity didn't. And so I found myself saying to myself, wait a minute, there's another oil. Could it be that there was another oil that God was ready to manifest? There was another oil that God was ready to create. There was another oil that God was ready to produce, but I was not ready to let go of that thing. And I had to get in my mind that, Shamelah, you are not the only person in the world that can lead praise and worship. Girl, get out of the way. And I had to tell myself, you are God's daughter who currently leads worship. You see how I changed that? I went from I am the worship leader to Shamelah, you are God's daughter who currently leads worship. I had to keep telling myself, you are God's daughter who currently leads worship. Then I can help other people become worship leaders. I'm telling you what I walked through. I had to say in my mind, you are God's daughter that currently leads worship. Get out of this mindset that you're the only praise and worship leader. You're not the only praise and worship leader. Listen. I had to understand that my assignment may change, but my identity in Christ was going to always remain. There just may be another assignment. There just may be another oil. There just may be another circumstance. There just may be another opportunity. How can I grow if I don't go? Y'all, let me tell you something. I got so frustrated in that thing for so long that I begin to back up so other people can now come into that, because I start feeling the pull and I start feeling the weight of another oil that was brewing over my life to become the destined, ordained preacher and pastor and teacher that God had in store for me. Listen, every assignment has a season. Y'all know Ecclesiastes 3:1. Not every assignment is forever. That doesn't make it unsuccessful. Sometimes God calls you to plant. Sometimes God calls you to water. Sometimes God calls you to harvest. Faithfulness is succeeding in the assignment that He gave you. That's what faithfulness is. Saying, you know what? I did that great. I did this good. All right, God, now it's time for me to do something else. Okay, God, I mastered that. Now it's time for me to learn something else. And so I just wanted to share this idea with you today. I was just having this conversation with myself. I was having this conversation with some of my sisters and my friends. I was like, oh my gosh, am I protecting something that God asked me to steward? Am I being territorial over something that doesn't even belong to me? Oh my God, have I confused my identity with my assignment? If God moved me tomorrow, would my role survive? Like, if God said, you know what, Shamelah, your assignment is up as the manager, and I'm gonna move you into director in a whole nother entity, like, would I be okay? Who am I intentionally developing? Like, are my supervisors equipped enough to do it? Are my mentees equipped enough to go? Am I really pouring into people? Like, who am I helping? I was just having this moment today, and I wanted to share it with you. Will people say that I'm building the kingdom or I'm building myself? Woo! Will people say that I have interest in their soul, in their mind, in their growth? Or will people say I have interest of becoming whoever God has called me to be? Like, do I think about others or is it all about me? Woo! I want you to do something, and I know I'm coming live tomorrow. This is just a pop-up thought. I'm just sitting here having this conversation, but I want you to identify an area where you like, you know what? I need to be stewarding this area. I need to write down a person that I need to intentionally pour into and develop. Like, I have to make this thing personal. I have to begin to do this thing and pray like, Lord, help me to keep my hands open to every assignment you entrusted me with. Like, God, please help me to be a good steward, because you didn't have to give it to me. You didn't have to give me the opportunity to pastor. You didn't have to give me the opportunity to be over Christian education. You didn't have to give me the opportunity to be a manager over 90 people. God, you gave me the opportunity. Like, you're giving me these opportunities to be a steward, and I don't want to be a hoarder. Woo! I don't want to be a hoarder. Y'all know that show where they have so much stuff and everything is all over the place and it's just full and the room is full and it's just stuff all over the place. And you have mastered nothing, but you have a room full of everything. Like, God, help me. I want to be a good steward over the gifts and the calling and the purpose and the assignment. Like, who am I pouring into? Who am I helping? What praise and worship leader have I ever sat down with and said, hey, I've been there and done that. Try this strategy. This is what worked for me. Try this and go back and pray with your team and fast with your team and do some vocal teaching, do some vocal lessons and do some breathing exercises. Like, who have I poured into? Like, what have I taught people? People like, oh, I need some assistance about, how to, cultivate prayer and how do you pray and how do you see God? I had a young lady today. She said, Shamelah, when you go in your prayer closet, what do you say? And I just begin to talk to her and just regurgitate what I do in the prayer closet. Like, it's nothing fancy. I don't do anything out of the ordinary. The only thing I do different from you is I'm present. Actually go in the prayer closet. I actually pray. I actually spend time with God. I gave her an example. I said, as a wife or as somebody is in a relationship, how would you feel if you say we're in a relationship and he don't ever talk to you? How would you feel if she say she in a relationship with you and she never communicates with you? That's how God feels. Just communicate with him. While you at work, have something to say. While you walking down the street, do you talk to him? While you driving, do you invite him into the car? Do you invite him into the room? Do you have a conversation with him? Are you relational with him? Do you be transparent? Do you drop names? Do you drop scenarios? Do you drop situations? Like, do you communicate with God? You proclaim to have a relationship, but when's the last time you talked to him? Something so simplistic. So y'all, thank you for joining my soap moment, or moment with me, just having a conversation. I just wanted to talk about the opportunity and the steward season, the season of steward. Like, how are you stewarding in this season? Like, how are you covering in this season? How are you serving in this season? Can you serve without being territorial? Can you serve something like how is your property management skills? Can you take care of something that doesn't belong to you without taking ownership of it, without being territorial, without being like, it's just me. I'm the only person. No. Don't have that attitude. I promise you, somebody developed you. Somebody taught you something. And so now the objective is for you to reproduce what you're producing. All right. I pray this bless you. Look, I'll see y'all tomorrow, 4:00. Moments with the Masters. This is just a pop-up thought. That's it. Nothing big, nothing, grand. Margaret, I just wanted to have this conversation because I'm like, Lord, help me. Like, I got this thing all messed up. Like, wait a minute. I need to check my stewardship and make sure that I'm reproducing what you produced in me. I want to make sure that the young lady who is experiencing the same thing that I experienced, that she comes better off than I was. I want to make sure that that young man has somebody to go to and talk to when he's in need. I want to make sure that I'm not just reproducing, but I'm producing a better me. Amen. God bless you. Y'all have a good day. Love you all.